What is up, beautiful people? We're back on this hidden channel. So if you have landed here, you have landed on uncharted waters. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about how my classmates reacted when they first like found out about these stupid animations that I was making back in the day. Obviously now I make incredibly different stuff, but back in the day, I started out by making these like really quote unquote stupid, but I don't even think they're stupid personally. They still have like a super special place in my heart, even if no one watches them. But yeah, so I want to talk about like how people reacted to this overall, right? So so this was in high school. You have to keep that in mind. And when people first found out about it, my like closest friends, I guess you could say, it was probably in like my sophomore year or junior year, something like that. And so when my closest friends saw this stuff, I mean, it was overall like just like laughs, and but like not in like a bad way, like in a kind of good way, I guess. Like they found them funny. There was no like ridiculing or anything like that. But to be honest, so eventually it spread, obviously, because that's what happened. Like you tell one person, someone tells another person. You know how friend groups in high school, it's kind of like you have like one group, and then there's another group, and then there's another group, and there's like certain friend groups that are like closer together than like other friend groups. That's just like kind of how it is. Yeah, so eventually it spread to more and more people. Still like relatively close to. I wouldn't call them friends. Like some of them I'd say friends, then I'd say like some like kind of friends. It spread to those type of people where you're not like close with them, but you know them and stuff like that. So the reactions among them, it was overall laughs again, and like in a positive way overall. Like they found it funny. But I will say that like some people who were my friends, they thought it was funny, but like the stuff that they said about it was like secretly hurtful to me. So like they'd laugh at it and say like, oh, what's wrong with you, and like stuff like that. Whereas like it's not like an insult or like a direct attack or anything like that, but it's just something that kind of like annoys you a little. And like part of the reason why it annoyed me is because obviously I grew up in a house that was overall abusive, and like throughout high school, especially in like sophomore and junior year, it was just not a good time for me at home. So kind of like making this stuff helped me escape that a bit. So like when people in real life was like, oh, what is wrong with you, when they'd see this like these like stupid animations, it would kind of be like I'd have to go along with the joke, obviously, right, and be like not really shut it down, I guess, but like deep down inside, that shit kind of, can I even curse on YouTube on the channel like this? Like, I'm gonna curse anyways. So yeah, like shit like that kind of hit me a bit in a way, and obviously like I'm not gonna make it awkward by saying like, hey, I'm actually going through something at home and stuff like that, because it's for whatever reason I just didn't like to talk about it much to people unless they were like really close to me. Talking about that stuff, going through issues at home, I think like it can be seen as you're like weak if you talk about it or something like that. So yeah, that's why I didn't want to like ever like bring that up too much. And honestly, this goes into like different areas as well. Like for me, for example, I've actually always been like really skinny, but it was even worse when I was at home during like those high school days, because my stepmother, who was like the bitch who was like a really bad to me, I guess you could say. Abusive is a strong word, but I mean she quite literally was like every day when I come home, she'd be like cursing at me and stuff. But anyways, like so she'd be the one who made it like hard for me to get like the right amounts of food at home and stuff like that. So part of it is genetics too. Like I have a high metabolism, and I've always been skinny as a child. So like those two things together, like my stepmother making it like harder for me to eat more, and then also having a naturally skinny body. I was just like very skinny in high school. I still am, but I'm working on it now. I have some fitness equipment, and I've been like eating more too, at least trying to. Eating is like hard for me, but yeah. So the point is, let's get like back on track here. So like some people also they make jokes and say like, oh, why are you anorexic? But these were people I was friends with, and I think when they said it, they didn't mean it to be in like a harmful way. And the reason why I say this is because these people were my friends. They were actually helping me in other areas of life. Like for example, we'd help each other out on schoolwork and stuff like that. So these people who said that, which by the way, it was only like two people. I got along well with like everyone in high school overall. I was the quiet kid, kind of like that. Everything was good. I got along with everyone, but I guess I was just kind of this mystique. But my friends who said stuff like that, they genuinely didn't know at the time what I was going through. So like basically the point I'm trying to say is like I'd have to deal with these like underhanded sayings throughout my high school career, if you will, at times. And I just didn't really like shit like that. It was just like annoying. But yeah, so that's how people reacted overall. It was like some people or a lot of people they liked it and found it funny, and it kind of gave me like this clout in a way, this minor type of clout. In a way, the reason I like to make them too was because it helped give me like validation, I guess. Because like people when I make a new one of these, people would watch it and they'd all laugh to it, and actually like a lot of my friends at the time would start voice acting in it as well. So it wasn't like just me; it was like other people would voice act in it too. As I gradually got better at doing this, and then it would like every time I'd release it, it would be like a big hit of dopamine for me, I think. And so that's like one thing that kept me going until eventually in like senior year, I just stopped making the animations where I'd like voice act with other people, and it would be like story based, 3 minutes long. So there was kind of like three different eras. There was like era one, which was like in sophomore year when I was just making. It was like just me voice acting it. It was like really really bad quality, and like that was the times when like a couple of my friends would say like, oh, what's wrong with you? But then like it got a little better, and then like even my friends wanted to start voice acting in it. So that was like the second era of it. And then I stopped eventually because I just wanted to go all in, like spend my time instead of making like some 3 minute animation over the course of weeks. I just wanted to spend that time improving instead, and because like my goal was to just like get as good as possible, and then eventually do something bigger. So yeah, I don't know if you guys ever like shared your art growing up with other people, but I certainly did. I don't know. I guess in a way, a lot of it was at least at one point about like the external validation of it that made me want to improve further in the first place. Because I think when I was making like that crappy stuff no one was seeing, I didn't have much of like a stimulus to go and improve further. But then I think like eventually people started to see it and like some people liked it, so that made me want to do more. Then eventually I wanted to improve it and see how people would react, and then like from there I decided like, okay, I actually do want to improve at this and see like how good I can become, and that would eventually lead us to today. But yeah, there's more I could talk about. I guess let me know in the comments what you'd want me to talk about more on this channel and stuff like that, because I mean I already have like multiple topics planned in a way, but I don't know, I just feel like talking like this raw to the camera is fun, so I want to keep on doing stuff like this. And yeah. Oh yeah, also I did make a Twitch account, but I can't like promise whether or not I'm gonna be streaming. I definitely like to try it out, but I don't know how like good or entertaining I'll be on camera. Obviously it's like a skill with everything else that I can improve upon, but I don't know. It might be a cool thing to try. I think it's like twitch.tv/crazyzoff, same name. But yeah, have an awesome day, guys.